It's like low-key shady. Like it's low-key shady.
Yeah. If he wasn't able to find the idol, he was going to get the red paint from camp and like plant it on himself to make it seem like he found a beware advantage.
Gameplay from this season alone, I would want Jonathan to win.
What's up, guys? It's Ava and Ivy, and today we are talking about Survivor 50, episode 12, which was a pretty disappointing episode, I would say. But we got to talk about it.
Yeah, I agree. Disappointing in the way that obviously we don't agree with the people that went home, but it's the last episode before the finale, which is actually insane to think about. I can't believe it's already here.
Yeah, I know. This season like flew by.
Yeah. And hey, it's been a good season so far. Definitely a lot of moments where we were like, what's going on right now? But
yeah,
what else can you expect from season 50? So yeah. But yeah, let's get into the episode. Talking about episode 12, I think the first thing that I do remember is Devens going on the rant about being alone in the game and essentially not having any power anymore. And so he was worried. I think he had a moment where he also started crying, I think, with Joe. Was it with Joe?
Yeah. I was thinking back, I think we have to talk about people's reactions after the two separate tribals, though, when they first found out who went home and the whole dynamic within that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that feels so long ago. It's because this episode had 2 tribal councils, so now I'm like thrown off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right.
You're right.
And we see, I remember Devens and Cirie interacting. And he said something about, he was like, oh, I wish I remember what he said, but Devens was basically apologizing for putting Cirie's name down. Then she goes, with that and $2, I can get a bag of chips, right? I thought that was funny. But yeah, like, how are you supposed to recover from that? You just wrote her name. Unfortunate for Devens. And then we see the second group get back from tribal and Ozzy's not there. We see Cirie realize, and then we see Rizo tell Cirie and Tiff that Ozzy blew up his game. He shared everything to Aubrey and he was a sinking ship. And that's when we see Cirie be like, yeah, like, I'm glad you sent him home. Glad he went home then. Which I'm glad that reaction happened because I was scared that she was going to be mad at Rizo, but obviously not.
Yeah, I agree. I was scared that she would be like mad at Rizo for not saving Ozzy, but obviously Rizo made the best move for his game and the best move for Cirie's game, essentially, because Ozzy basically outed Cirie that she wanted to bring Ozzy to the end too, and it's like not really cool to spread that information, Ozzy. I'm not gonna lie. I still don't get why he did that.
No, not at all.
So I mean, sad to see him go. But I think Cirie will survive without Ozzy for the next 2 days.
Yeah,
that they have left.
Yeah. I think she'll be just fine. Be just fine. But another moment I want to talk about from when they got back, and I think this all still happened when it was nighttime. Like, I think it was all still in the dark mode when we saw it. But Devens calls out Jonathan about, he's like, oh, that was your move, right? Like, you just made a really big move. Like, that was a big move you made, Jonathan. Like, oh, that was all you. Like, that was a big move. And I don't know, I just think it's funny because you obviously know, like, Devens is saying that to, like, move the target from his back to Jonathan's back, being like, big move guy over here, like, you know? So I just thought it was funny. You know, what's Jonathan supposed to say? Because if he says, yeah, it wasn't my move, what are you going to do at the final tribal council when you want to claim that as your move? Like, how do you deflect that? Like, that's so awkward. But I don't know, I just love Devens because that's so chaotic to just say that, because what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. No, literally. And like, going off the topic of Devens, I guess, you know, probably the next scene we see is him up before sunrise, looking for an idol, like looking for anything to save his butt in this game at this point.
Yeah.
Shout out for the that's commitment. Up before sunrise. Oh my gosh. It was so funny when Jonathan was like, so why aren't we all following him right now?
Yeah. Like, why are we letting him do that? Like,
yeah. And then he just babysat him. That was so funny.
Oh, which that makes, oh my gosh. Like, you know, good for Jonathan because, you know, that's what you should do. But I was like, dang, I just really want Devens to find something. I want him to break loose from Jonathan right now. But I loved when Jonathan was like, oh, what are you looking for? And Devens was like, I lost a contact. As he's like looking through like the leaves. And I saw in one of the exit press how Devens apparently came up with a plan to where if he wasn't able to find the idol, he was going to get the red paint from camp and like plant it on himself to make it seem like he found a beware advantage, like we see Sue find, where she's covered in the red paint. Yeah. So he was going to try to play it up like that, which is so smart. And I wish we'd seen it play out because that just would have been another notch in Devens' belt for a chaotic move. But Jonathan was watching him too closely, so he didn't get to play out that plan.
Yeah, that would have been crazy if he did like another fake idol type play. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be insane. But
that's insane. What I mean. Yeah, he's definitely the most entertaining player on this season for sure.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure,
even since the beginning, even. And oh my gosh, if Christian would have made it further, they just would have been crazy together. Like Christian and Devens would have been insane.
I know. Literally, they have to like nuke the most entertaining players.
No, literally. But at least like we're at the end of it. I mean, it's episode 11 or episode 12, so at least Devens made it this far. Christian should have made it a little further, but we've already spoken on that, I guess. So
yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, right before the first challenge, I guess we see, Aubrey says how she's kind of in the middle. So it kind of gives her the power position as to where the game heads like towards the end. And, she over and over again, she speaks about the mentality of this is where you start thinking about who you want to sit next to. It's not about alliances anymore. And Aubrey doesn't even have alliances to, quote unquote, bring to the end with her at this point. So she's kind of a free agent, and so she's playing the game to the best of her ability, and I like how she's, I guess, strategically thinking about it. Of course, everyone else is thinking about it too, but I remember she made a point about how, like, she'd rather sit next to Rizo than Cirie or Devens, for example.
Yeah.
And obviously, we see that play out throughout the episode, but yeah, she's definitely not secretly, but low-key maneuvering her way to the end of this game. So,
yeah, definitely. Lots of Aubrey screen time this episode. Lots of confessionals. Which I wonder why. But
yeah, we see Devens' little breakdown right before the challenge. And then I remember he hit a line where he was like, I can't find an idol, but I did win four challenges in my past season, so maybe I'll pull it out. Brother, you did not pull it out. I know,
that made me so sad. When that was included in the edit, though, I was like,
no, same.
I was like, is he about to win? I had a lot of hope for a second there that Devens was going to pull out the win, just based on the edit. And then, we didn't see that happen. But I think we have to address that this challenge, we know it from experience. Okay, guys? We've done this challenge at the Survivor Cafe, and we saw how it played out. And I just have to give them kudos. Like, I honestly think I was going to say I think I would, but I know I would be having the same track record as Devens in this game where he drops after, like, 1 block, 2 block. I don't know. I don't have whatever kind of patience or whatever you need to have for this challenge. I don't possess that. And I mean, I found that out in Miami at the Survivor Cafe. Ava, but you were good at it. You have that Joe vibe. You and Joe are like this because you both won that challenge.
Yeah, I know ball. I did it once in my life, so whatever.
You know what you're talking about.
But yeah, I mean, when I did it, I think I only fell once, and then I just went really slow for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Which at one point during the challenge, when we saw, like, when they were actually playing, when Cirie grabbed like the wrong block, did you see that?
Yes.
That made me. I was like, no, not the eye.
Bro, I was like, thank goodness she fell before like even realizing that, because you know how frustrating that would have been if she actually built it all the way and then realized like, oh, I'm missing a block. I would be pissed. So it kind of worked out in her favor, I feel like, because it would have been so much more frustrating. But I also remember there was a moment where like Rizo was in the lead, and I was like, Rizo actually winning a challenge?
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case. But at one point, he was in the lead. So, hey, that's better than nothing.
That's huge. That's huge. And I feel like whenever that challenge is aired, I feel like you can never, like, it doesn't matter what's happening at all until somebody wins. Because I feel like they always show, like, that this person's about to get it, and this person, and then it's like, oh, now everybody's back at the same level anyways. So it's like,
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, Joe proves, I guess, slow and steady wins the race, because Joe ultimately wins immunity, and he gets the barbecue reward. And let's talk about his decision. I mean, he ultimately ends up taking Cirie and Rizo. He says to the group, he's taking Rizo because Rizzo's never been on a reward, and Cirie because, I don't know, I think he said she like hasn't eaten. But this beef back at camp, like once he made his choice, was just so funny to me. Like the fact that Tiff could not get over Rizo not eating his chicken. And then I guess we see it play out at Tribal too. They bring it up again, like talking about the exact auction items that everyone got. So you can tell it's like day 22. Everyone's so like very hungry at this point, and the littlest thing can cause an issue between like one person and the other. Example, Tiff and Rizo. Like Tiff is just pissed at Rizo because when in reality it's Joe that picked Rizo in the first place. So that whole situation was like so funny to me.
Yeah, and Jonathan was butthurt too. He's like Rizo just ate a chicken, and he was like, and I haven't. I had a sea slug. Like, which like valid to be mad, but like, yeah, you can just tell they're all just hungry at this point.
Yeah, no, literally.
But yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, and then we see Joe like in his confessional. He's like, no, this was a strategic pick because he knows that Cirie's very well connected in the game. So strategy from Joe. We got strategy from Joe, guys.
Unheard of.
He's thinking.
He's playing Survivor.
One more thing. Yeah, he's actually playing the game. This is crazy. But one more thing about the block challenge. Did you see the shot where Aubrey was carrying it in her mouth? Like the block in her mouth? That was Bro, why?
And then somebody else, I think it was Tiff, did it too. Like after they showed Aubrey do it, then Tiff was doing it. I was like, dang. I was like, I don't think you actually have to do that.
Yeah,
I don't think that's actually necessary.
The chin is like the best strat for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, moving on from that. We see them at the barbecue reward. I think they just chatted about how Tiff would be the easy vote, no? Oh, wait.
Yeah, right?
Or was it Devens? I don't know.
Probably Devens being the easiest vote.
Yeah. But yeah, Joe said he picked Rizo because he knew Rizo had an idol, and then picked Cirie because she has good connection. So that was his reasoning. And oh my gosh, I do want to get into Rizo, but I won't yet because we're not there yet. But let's jump to the scene where Jonathan's eating the dry rice and Tiff is like getting mad that he's eating the dry rice. That was so funny to me. And honestly, I would eat the dry rice too if I was that hungry.
Yeah, no, for real. I think moments like that just feel so like Survivor at their core. Like I feel like we don't get as many moments because like that just reminds me of the Cirie and Emily beef where Cirie was like, I'm gonna vote Emily out if she says one more thing about this rice. Like, because obviously things like that do play a factor. Like they're all living together, and so it's fun to see those really like those interpersonal conflicts that are so minor, but they could affect like the whole game and like why somebody gets a vote in the end. It could be like little things around camp we never saw. So that's just funny.
Yeah. That whole segment was so funny. And then, this is where we also see Tiff. Tiff is so stuck on Rizo having an idol and bringing that idol to, getting into the final 5. And obviously we saw that happen, but Tiff tries to make the plan to blindside Rizo. And this is where I remember Aubrey said a line, and she was like, she said the old timers aren't gonna want to give a prize to a kid, referring to Rizo. So that's ultimately why she wants to bring him to the end. And we were talking about that last week on the podcast, how no one's really going to want to give the prize to a new Survivor player, So I think that's a very strategic, well thought out stitch that. I think that's a good plan for Aubrey.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really crazy to think like about Rizzo's game for a second, because I mean we've already gone on our soapbox about how we think Rizo has played a good game and he should have a good chance of winning, even though like Aubrey said he doesn't really have a good chance because he's new to Survivor and because he's like so much younger. But it is really insane to think that Rizzo's played like the same game twice now, but they didn't know his first game, like he did this exact same thing with his idol. Obviously he hasn't had to bluff it as much as he did in 49, but like he's done the same thing he did before. And it's crazy that both times he was able to use an idol so long in this game.
And honestly, like now that I'm looking back on the whole season, I really think in most people's minds, they're like, why wouldn't we just keep Rizo around and bring him to the end just so I can sit next to him? Because no one knows how he played before. So it's not like he can, talk about something he did in a previous season and that'll get someone to vote for him, because he could be completely lying. So it's like, it's just that automatic disadvantage for him in that sense. And maybe that's why he hasn't had to make these bigger plays that he made in like 49 with his idol and be so showy about it because people just want to bring him to the end anyway. So like, yeah, his idol has been protecting him, but people just honestly don't deem him as a threat. And it's like, there's so many fights that can be used against Rizo, I feel like, in the finale. You know, you suck. No offense. You suck at challenges. Okay, you don't suck at challenges. You just aren't the best at challenges. So like that's like already a main point. And it's almost like he doesn't even try. Like I know he's trying, but he doesn't even try. However, we need to talk about the fact, have you seen all the press about how Rizo was like kind of sickly towards the end of season 50?
He was like, he was ill like the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember someone said, like, no one has done however many days it's been straight in years.
Yeah.
Like the amount of days that Rizo has been playing Survivor, and especially back to back, he had like 1 to 2 weeks in between filming. So that's also a huge disadvantage for him too in the physical challenge. I think people wouldn't hate on him as much like regarding the challenges if he was in his full physical capability, but you know, because he is struggling and is pretty much ill right now, you know, it makes sense. He's probably skinny as hell, like doesn't really have the energy to even try to compete. So that's my rebuttal to what I just said.
Yeah. And and I mean, but it is interesting though, because like, you know, I feel like we have some Survivor players in 50 and just in general that are like all three. They're the player, or they're strategic, they're social, they're physical, and they have they meet all of the boxes, or they check all of the boxes. But then there's some players that are mainly physical, like Joe, where we don't see hardly any strategy from him, or who's a social player. I don't know. But like for him, I feel like he's strategic, and I guess social just go along with that too. Like his social game and his strategy in general is what gets him far. But that's also how I think of Cirie. Like I don't think of Cirie as being a challenge beast, but like, you know, her strategy and social game are what make her such a good Survivor player. But yeah, it is crazy to think though, dang, yeah, that guy is not eaten. That guy is not eaten. And I don't think we'll ever see a streak like that again, especially knowing like how much press has come out about how he was like, you know, like so ill on the island. Like I feel like we'll never see something like that again. And probably for good reason, because that's crazy. I think he said he lost 40 and he was like, when you think about it, when we saw him going into 49, he was already like a skinny guy. Like 40 pounds? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that is wild. Yeah. And is he tall? I don't know.
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah.
Dang, so he's just tall and skinny now, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's recovered by now for the live finale. I'm sure he's all in well. I'm sure he's all in well.
Hopefully he gained that 40 pounds back.
Yeah, but all in muscle. Pure muscle.
Yeah, all in muscle.
So then he'll be a challenge threat going back again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, on 52.
Oh my god. Okay, but yeah, going back to the episode, another big moment that was so funny to me was the hammock with Cirie and Jonathan.
Oh my gosh.
And the hammock just broke. Oh my gosh, that was so funny to me. But it was so cute how Jonathan was like, "Are you okay? Like, seriously, are you okay?"
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny. And then like later in the episode, you see another scene where they're sitting on the hammock again, and they were like hesitant to sit on it. Did you like notice that?
And then they were like, "I think we're good." Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. Good callback. Good callback.
Yeah. Okay, so should we go to the first tribal, I assume?
Yeah, let's do it.
I was saying the main thing I remember is Devens' star analogy. And him getting emotional.
Yeah. Because I mean, I it seemed like he just knew. He knew it was gonna be him. And I like the little edit moment when like he like looks up and then it shows the stars. Oh God, it was like, man. And then the star next to his name. It was like, dang, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Devens.
who did that, low-key?
I know. I want to know. I didn't catch it when they showed the votes.
Me either. But that's kind of like, I mean, I guess that's nice, but like also not nice because you're like voting for him. But
I know. I was actually thinking about that today. I was like, because I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like it's a callback. But then I was like, wait, are you saying that it's like a sign from his family members that he should be going home?
Right. It's like low-key shady. Like it's low-key shady.
Yeah, it is low-key shady. It's like, but I don't know.
I don't know. But maybe it was like Cirie that did it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Like it had good intent.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, when he played, I mean, I think everybody knew he was going to play a shot in the dark, you know? But I actually, like, was convinced for a second. I was like, he's going to get it. Like, he would. Which, can you imagine if he had played a shot in the dark and got it? That man would be the luckiest person on the planet.
He would win.
He should get a lottery ticket every single year, all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was sad. I was like, I was so hyped, and then I was like, oh. Yeah. 1 in 6 chance, I guess.
Yeah. So this was the end of Devens' time, unfortunately. But I mean, he was proud with the game he played. He left happy as can be. So, you know, I would be proud of the game I played. I mean, he just made Survivor history, flipping the coin.
Yeah.
His fake idol play will always be remembered. You know, like he played a good game. So
yeah. He was iconic. And I was thinking about it like today, and I was thinking about all the players, and like there's a couple of them whose seasons I've never seen. Like, I know who they are, but I've not seen their season. But he's one of the people where after watching him play this season, I was like, okay, I need to like go and like maybe I've seen a couple episodes from his season, but I was like, I need to go watch his season to see what was going on and what all of these references are to. But yeah, I mean, I wonder if he's going to get called back for another season, because I feel like nobody could watch season 50 and not think of him as one of the most prominent people of the entire season.
Right. And that's what, like with the Sia Fan Vote, I think Devens should win. Like, yeah, Cirie, yeah, she's a legend. She's never won Survivor ever, but guess what? She's played other game shows, and guess what? She's won. So I don't think of course, everyone could use the money, right? But I think Devens deserves it because of the impact he had on the game this season specifically. Yeah. So
yeah, that's my opinion. I completely agree. Which I honestly am worried that Cirie will win. Which, I mean, like, you know, if Cirie wins, like, Cirie's great. Yeah. But yeah, I would really want it to be Devens. Yeah, because when you think about it, like, he did so much, and it's really crazy to think he doubled the prize pool for the winner, and he just went out with nothing. Yeah, like, he was the only one that stepped up to make that sacrifice. Yeah, I'm just saying. I guess it's up to us. It's up to us. I guess I gotta go vote. Yeah, I voted. I didn't vote yet. I gotta go vote. Did you vote for Devens? You guys should vote. Yeah, I voted Devens. Okay. Yeah, you guys should go vote. But yeah. So I mean, after that tribal council, I guess, you know, we obviously see Tiff. Tiff is pissed that Rizo didn't play his idol. Rizo held on to it. I really thought for a second that he was going to do it, but he didn't. And this is where we kind of see Aubrey knows Tiff is a threat in the final 3. You know, she's a great competitor. She's been locked in this whole game. She's a social player. People like her. So this is when they start to think of targeting Tiff. I mean, this spread to everyone pretty much. I mean, Jonathan told Rizo like about Tiff's plan to go for Rizo, and so that for sure turned Rizo into like voting for Tiff, I think, compared to going after Joe and Jonathan. Yeah. So yeah, everyone was like on the same page, and then we go into the second challenge, which when I saw that arch puzzle, I knew Joe was cooked. Do you remember Joe's season? Do you remember that time? No, wait, tell me.
He spelled, I don't even know. I don't even think it spelled anything. But like, he did the entire puzzle, and it was just completely wrong. Like, the complete wrong word. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. It like became a meme that he like, I forget. I don't remember what it was, but I was like, Joe is not going to like this one. And then, you know, come to find out, Joe and Jonathan are the first people to the puzzle, way ahead of everyone. They're like, what could it be? I don't know. And then I'm pretty sure one of them said inconceivable, like in the very beginning, and they were like, but how do you spell that? They're like, I don't know. Figure it out, bro. Like, that was a wild thing to watch.
You know, I guess we gotta have our strong jock players on Survivor. Yeah. But moments like that, it's like, dang. Yeah. And bro, I'm like mad. Like, I probably shouldn't be mad about what I'm about to say, but I'm mad. I'm mad at Aubrey because, girl, it's all of it.
Like, what are you doing?
I just can't fathom that. Like, you know it. You're there too. Just do it. And the fact that, yeah, she probably could have like beat Tiff, but it's like you sacrificed that to go tell Joe.
But like, why was she doing that though? Like, what's the point?
I don't know.
What's the point?
I don't know. Because if like when I was watching it, I was so confused. I was like, why are you folding right now? And I was like, oh, well, maybe they just want to make sure Tiff doesn't get the necklace or whatever it was. But then it was like, but you'd also be making sure Tiff didn't get the necklace by securing that you got the necklaess.
Right. Like,
it doesn't have to be Joe or Jonathan.
Everyone to try? Like, why isn't everyone trying to do the puzzle instead of you just watching? Oh my gosh, that pissed me off so bad.
Yeah,
So bad.
and I mean, all I have to say with that is if I ever go on Survivor and you see me fold on a challenge to go help somebody else in the individual immunity challenge, punch me in the face. Send me hate comments out the wazoo. Because what?
Yeah. And it's like, imagine if the episode ended up playing out that Aubrey got voted out. You know how much you would regret that for the rest of your life?
Oh
trying
my gosh,
to help someone else to beat someone else. Oh
just to end up telling the guys who don't know how to spell inconceivable that the word is inconceivable. So that left me with a lot of feelings, and a lot of feelings going into the finale, because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
And technically, wasn't it Rizo that like figured out inconceivable? I'm pretty sure he was the first one to say it.
Okay.
Like, technically after Jonathan and Joe said it, but I'm pretty sure there was a scene where Rizo goes, inconceivable. And I was like, okay, Rizo.
Okay, Rizo. Rizo on the ups. Rizo on the ups.
But yeah, dude, I mean, I guess we ultimately see Tiff winning it all on her own. Didn't need any help. Didn't look at anyone else. So shout out Tiff. I mean, that's a huge win. She pulled it out when she needed it the most. Obviously, everyone was going straight for her neck. And I guess she didn't even really know that everyone's going for her in this exact moment. But yeah, she just locked in, did what had to be done, and she won. So that's a crazy win to get. Yeah.
Huge. And it makes me sad that, well, actually, I don't think I think there's no chance Tiff is sitting in the final 3. And that makes me sad because, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's just talk about after the challenge.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess we see, Aubrey obviously throws out that it's Cirie's time to go. And I remember she hit a line about the mafia. I think she said, she's like the mafia. You say her name and you're cooked. I'm pretty sure Rizo might have said that.
Yeah, Rizo.
Yeah. As soon as I remembered the cooked, I was like, so it's Rizo. Yeah. But yes, so he hit that line, which is valid. It's valid. This whole season, you throw out her name, you're gone. You're gone, buddy.
You're done.
So
you're done.
Yeah. We see all that kind of spiral.
Yeah. It was just so, Cirie knew. She is such a good read on everything, I feel like, all the time. And so it was just so funny seeing her, not funny, but her and Tiff's interaction when Tiff was like, who do you think it is? And Cirie was like, don't. She's like, don't. She's like, it's like they're talking about me. And Tiff just seemed like she genuinely had no clue, but Cirie was like, no, I'm in danger. I'm in danger. So yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, we see Cirie kind of try to save herself by telling a little lie to Jonathan about Aubrey, instead of, because Cirie found out about the Tiff plan, what she wasn't supposed to know about. Rizo told her. And so Cirie used that information to her advantage and told Jonathan that Aubrey told her about the Tiff plan to try to flip it onto Aubrey. Which, hey, mastermind genius plan right there. Instead of just outing Rizo, your only number 1 ally, I guess, left in the game.
Yeah.
You just flip it onto someone else. So that's a great play. That's a great play. And if it would have worked, that would make crazy.
No, literally. And I love all of the confessionals they showed of, I think, everybody. But I specifically remember Joe and Rizo. Rizo talking about how she, masterfully came up with this plan that doesn't throw him under the bus, it throws Aubrey under the bus. And then Joe talking about how he's like, Cirie's so good at manipulating people that I have it twisted in my own mind. I don't even know what the truth is. Which I feel like that's all just such a good testament to how powerful Cirie is and how, she really has a way of words and a way of convincing people. So I'm glad she got her flowers with all of that recognition.
Yeah, I agree. It's I guess that's just something that we can't really see as an audience because it's just the little things that, in just everyday conversations at camp that's not on camera that slowly gets people to trust her. And I wouldn't say she's manipulating anyone. I just think she's really good at speaking and saying the right things to the right people. So it's just a very unique skill to have. I feel like there's not many people that can persuade an entire room to go one way, but she has been doing that this entire season. So props to her. I mean, what else can you expect from Cirie? It's Cirie.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, she literally won Traitors. So just saying. I mean, I guess that's kind of manipulative.
But what I think that I think she's just like such a likable person and like such a warm person that people are like drawn to her and like her just like as a human being. So then when it comes to being strategic, she already has people's favor. And so it's like easier for her to, not easier for her, but like she has that in because she's such a likable person that she has that in to like, you know, convince people more than, you know, a player who's not likable would be able to do.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And I guess like from Tribal, do you remember anything like that was important at this Tribal that they were speaking about? Me either. Me either. I was just honestly just stunned by the fact that Rizo still didn't play his idol.
I
Like,
know.
I just can't believe he didn't do it. And it's so crazy to me that he didn't even have to. And he didn't even have to worry about playing it either. Because somehow, you know, the votes are on someone else. And I guess this is where it comes into play where it's like, it makes sense. You know, people want to bring him to the end. So why are they going to vote him out? Like we were saying earlier. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, he has to realize this though, right?
Right. Yeah. Like, I mean, I feel like Rizo seems like an aware person, but also, I don't know. I also don't know because, you know, we see some confessionals where they kind of make him seem like he thinks he's like all this and all that. So maybe he doesn't realize it, which I mean, I don't know. It's like interesting because I really could see it either way. Like he recognizes that he has a low chance, or maybe he thinks like, no, like I got it in the bag. Like he feels that confident. But it really does stink though, because I feel like he could make a good case for himself. But if it wasn't a returner season, then like, or like, you know, if it wasn't season 50, I think that he would have a really good chance of winning from the alleged, at least like our, like, you know, the prediction of who's in the final 3. I think he would have a really good chance. So I don't know.
I think he'll make a great, like he would make a great pitch. I don't think it's going to resonate with the jury, unfortunately. And I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I guess that brings us to our final 5. We are at final 5, and we have Rizo, Joe, Aubrey, Jonathan, and Tiff. So there's a lot that's going to happen. I tried to stay for a preview. I didn't see a preview. Did you see a preview? I literally was waiting for the preview, and there was no preview. So maybe there was and I just didn't see it, but yeah. So we don't know what the final challenge is because these are things that all the fans voted on. So I guess realistically we should know because the fans voted for the final challenge. They voted if there's fire making, and they voted for if there's going to be a live finale, which obviously there's a live finale. So yeah. But I don't remember like the options for the final challenge. I didn't do my research, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
I just can't imagine how this next episode's gonna go.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I can't think about it. Maybe it'll go good.
Yeah, maybe it'll go great.
I don't know.
Who would you want to win out of this final 5?
Well, out of this final 5, I would want, what I want versus what I think's gonna happen is completely different, because I would want Rizo to win. Rizo would be my top pick to win out of the final 5. So I would say Rizo is the person I would want to win the most, then Jonathan, then Tiff, then Aubrey, then Joe. That's what I want, and that's not what I see happening whatsoever.
Right.
Will be your lineup.
Based on like this gameplay from this season alone, I would want Jonathan to win because I feel like out of these 5 players, he's the one that we've seen playing the most. You know, he's a physical threat. He's done well in the social game. I mean, he's putting himself in the right position when he needs to be. He won that challenge where he could vote at both tribals. That was huge. To win. So I think Jonathan has the most like reasoning from the season alone. And then, I mean, I guess I would probably go Rizo because he was working with Ozzy and Cirie the whole time. No one knew about it, and he had the idol. And then probably Aubrey. Probably Aubrey over Tiff, because Aubrey, she did have some. I mean, she had an idol this season. She was playing the middle the whole time, and usually when you play the middle, people start to target you, and she made it through. So I see the reasoning there. Tiff, I just don't think Tiff has she really done a lot this season? I can't remember a lot.
In my mind, I feel like she's just saved her butt a lot by like winning immunity and like managing to scrape through while staying on like the bottom. So I think that's why I have her over Aubrey. Like, Tiff was on the bottom. And it's like, true. I feel like it's harder to stay in the game when you're on the bottom, obviously, than if you're in the middle. So that's why I think I would put Tiff over Aubrey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I guess she was targeted a lot. But yeah, she's just a physical threat. And then Joe last, because Joe literally hasn't done anything. He has one immunity, though.
Yeah, can't take that from him. Can't
take that
from him. Okay, in your opinion, if the final 5 that we have right now, they were to go to final tribal, all 5 of them, and people voted out of the 5 of them, who do you think's
Tiff?
Yeah, I would say, I was gonna say Jonathan, but I could also see it being Tiff because of, they talked about her social game a lot this episode.
That's why I almost went Jonathan, but like thinking about people on the jury, like Jonathan and Joe were like, it was Jonathan and Joe, you know what I'm saying? And then everyone below that. I feel like Tiff was just like friends with more people, honestly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it would be Tiff. Which I think there's like, I don't think there's a shot that we see either of those 2 people in the final 3. But I was just curious.
Do we want to talk about like online spoilers or no?
We can. Because let's talk about it.
I only know the supposed winner. I don't know who makes it to like final 3.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't know either, but I just really think it's Joe and Rizo.
Who's gonna win immunity? Like realistically, it should be Jonathan or Tiff that wins like immunity in the final challenge, right?
Well, so they're gonna have to vote out one more person, and then they're gonna have the final 4, which is either fire or not. I don't know, because I honestly don't see a world where. Well, I don't think they're letting Tiff through. I think that there's just no way they're gonna let her get to the end unless she won immunity. Then like it could be fire that just gets her out. But I think that if Jonathan was sitting at the end, he beats Aubrey every time. At least from my perspective. And so unless the jury, like, we don't know what the jury's thinking. We've seen a completely different story than, what some of their perceptions probably even are. And so, I don't know. But to me, I'm like, Tiff beats Aubrey. Jonathan beats Aubrey. Joe doesn't beat Aubrey. Rizo doesn't beat Aubrey. So I feel like those are the only 2 that it could be that make Aubrey the winner. Because if it was Joe, Rizo, or if it was, I don't know, if it was any other combination.
What about like we know for sure Jonathan and Aubrey though?
Well, I think that Jonathan would win, but I don't know. Like that's just my perception.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think they would just right. Which I mean, unless people are just bitter and they're just angry, which I don't. I think that being Survivor 50, I think that they'll play or they'll vote more strategically than emotionally. But
yeah, I agree with
that. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't vote Jonathan because they wouldn't see the vision. But
yeah, no, you're right. I feel like all these players, like they're not ones to be petty, like it's not, it wouldn't be like a Charlie, like Maria situation where Maria was just petty. So she didn't vote him, which I'm still mad about that, by the way, but whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, of course. Always will be mad.
Oh my gosh.
But the one, I do think, same, retweet. I do think, I low-key think Ozzy's gonna be petty. This is my prediction. And here's the thing, I'm saying this as an Aussie, I'm an Aussie fan through and through, but here's the thing, I think Ozzy's gonna be petty. Because I think Rizzo's gonna be singing at the final 3. And I think that, I just don't see a world where Ozzy doesn't make some sort of remark. I think it's coming from a genuine place of hurt and like, hurt. But I think there's definitely going to be some sort of Aussie remark at Final Tribal. Like, I don't think
like
he would vote for Rizzo. Yeah, I think that might be a situation we see. Because I think that, obviously, I don't think Rizzo is going to win. But I think that if there was a world where he had a better chance, I think Cirie would vote him, even though he voted out Cirie. But I don't think the same can be said about Ozzy. I don't think Ozzy would vote Rizzo to win. Because Rizzo voted him out. One thing that would be cool to happen, full circle moment, is it would be cool if we see Rizzo go to fire. I don't know if he will get sent to fire because I think that whoever it is going to want to take Rizzo. But it would be cool to see Rizzo get sent to fire and win, just so he has that full circle moment from season 49 when he lost in fire. So that would be a cool way for him to earn a spot into the final 3 and kind of, even though the jury doesn't know what's going on and that's a full circle moment, he would know and have that kind of redemption in a sense. But I don't know the likelihood of him going to fire. But I would like to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be fire. We should have looked that up. Or maybe we don't even know as the public yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Right. Basically, in my head though, maybe like they would want to send Rizo to fire because even if he does win, people still aren't gonna vote for him. Whereas if you sent someone else to fire and that they just put that, like you send Aubrey to fire and she wins fire, you just put that under your belt to win,
Which, you know, that wouldn't be even shocking if that's what ends up happening. If we see Aubrey sent to fire and then that's like the final like push that gets her the win. Cause like maybe it is somebody we said like Tiff or Jonathan sitting at the end with her too, but she wins because she just won fire. And it's like that last kick. That could be it too.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. 6 more days.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
However many days. Wow. It's all coming to an end. Should I read off our standings real quick? Guys, I have a good chance of like getting up there. I don't think I'm gonna win at this point, but I'm in 26th place.
Hey.
Yeah. With 3,188 points. So I'm up there, but I don't think I'll get enough to like win, unfortunately. But I'll win something, I guess. You're in 251st place with 2,729 points. So hey, you're up there.
I'm on the board.
You're on the board. So
I'm in the 200s. But you know,
we've done worse.
Joe's my last tribe member standing.
Dang. Yeah, I still have Joe, Jonathan, and Aubrey.
Yeah, that's a crazy. What if that would be crazy? And
oh
there's
my
a good
god,
chance
that would actually
could be the final 3. Which low key, you might win the whole thing if they are the final 3.
Right, but Jonathan's like my 5th pick though, or 4th or 5th. I don't remember, but he's like lower.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a possibility. I would have to look at like everyone else's like picks, like who people still have. But yeah, this is the end. Thank you guys for listening along with us. If you have any predictions, let us know in the comments down below who you think's going to win, who you think's going to be in final 3, who you think's going to win the final immunity challenge. Let us know in the comments. But besides that, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we will talk to you soon. See ya.